Hey, what's up? This is ChoseN, and I am joined by my good friend Skratch, and we were planning on doing a video about the tier list changes that we're going to be working on, but we've got an important topic that we want to give you some context on, with Plarium kind of hoodwinking the player base a little bit, so I'm going to dive into it.
Yeah.
I'm going to dive in to talking about that with Skratch, so let's get into it. Alrighty, how we doing today, Skratch?
Yeah, doing pretty good, buddy. Doing pretty good. Kind of like a bit gutted about the whole thing, you know?
Yeah,
it's like
that's crazy.
You tell us one thing and you do a different one, and it's just crazy because even though we thought that that will happen, they said no, it's not going to happen only to one champion. But the whole idea is that it's happening to all the champions now, so that's a problem because people that actually built unkillable champions for this boss, specifically for this boss, are gonna get wrecked by it, you know? So it's pretty disappointing to know that.
Yeah, and for anybody that's curious or kind of been out of the loop for a week or two on Raid, just to keep you up to date and give you the quick synopsis. So Raid obviously has released the new Iron Twins boss, which is tough, and people were building special compositions featuring Paragon, Maneater, Demetha, certain unkillable teams. Well, what we've got right up here up top of the new update teaser coming out is effect added. The first hit of the Iron Twins skill will now ignore unkillable buffs. So we'll completely ignore them whenever the Iron Twins HP is equal to less than 40%. So what it basically means is all of those special compositions that you built to sustain unlimited damage and be able to clear those later stages is now going to be basically rendered useless. Did I get that right, Skratch?
Yeah, pretty much. So block damage is still working, unkillable is not. So basically, Maneater, Sir Nicholas is not going to be good here anymore. So those champions are completely getting scrapped off once the boss drops under, what, 40% HP it was? Yes. That's when he's going to wreck you, you know? So it's going to be hard. No matter how you're going to turn your team, even with the block damage, I find it hard to make it work because he's going to ignore, still going to ignore unkillable. Maybe you say, okay, I would tune the team in such a way that when he uses that skill, he's going to have this, he's going to have that. It's still going to be very, very hard to make it work. I don't think you're going to be able to make it work consistently anyway.
Yeah, and do you want to walk people why it's so shocking based on what Plarium was kind of saying behind the scenes and what we expected to happen, and then why it's like, whoa, wait, what?
Well, they released that thing that they're going to change unkillable. Everybody kind of assumed that all the unkillable is gonna go dead, so we made sure we asked multiple times. I'm pretty convinced that everybody in that content creator chat asked. Then mods asked as well. So we received the answer: no, will be just to mess up that one specific champion, aka Paragon, right? Then the mods received the answer that is still going to work if the team is tuned good. So basically, they kind of like confirmed us multiple times that no, we're not nerfing unkillable. We went out there and told everyone, no, they're not nerfing unkillable. You know, kind of like the middleman. I'm coming, I'm telling you, do that with confidence, guys. Trust me, I got the right source behind me, telling me the right info. And bang, that's what happened. So that's why I'm a bit like, wow, why? You know, it's just because we're kind of like telling people what to do. And guess what? They're not going to blame Plarium. Because not Plarium went out and told them to do it. We told them to do it, you know, because we got the info from Plarium. So it's really bad for them to do stuff like this, regardless what it is. It doesn't matter. If you tell me that you're gonna give the people one chicken and I'm gonna go out there and tell them that they're gonna receive one chicken, they should receive the chicken, you know, because it's just kind of like your word, my word, their word, and it goes on like this. It's pretty annoying if it's not the case, you know.
Yeah. So basically, we thought they were gonna adjust Paragon, because they kind of said they were just going to. They didn't want like one rare champion making a dungeon super easy, so they were going to adjust Paragon. I've been saying for a long time, if they could release Raid again, they probably wouldn't even have Paragon in the game because this rare champion that helps people like cheese content, they probably would just completely rework him. But it's too late at this point. People are too used to it, and people would rage if they kind of took that away.
Yeah, they shouldn't rework Paragon or stuff like that. What they can do is to make the boss ignore unkillable after the champion that has unkillable has the Iron Brand on for 200 turns, you know? If that's the case, ignore it. Game over. Or 250 turns, because Paragon to solo the boss was taking like 10 minutes, right? So the boss was increasing the Iron Brand on Paragon so many freaking times that it's so easy to make it work. Ignore Unkillable when the enemy has the Iron Brand debuff on for 250 plus turns. Easy. You kill the Paragon cheese, Unkillable teams are working. End of story, pretty much. You know, that's what we thought that they were gonna do anyway, but I'm well surprised that they haven't.
And for those of you that weren't around back in the early days of Raid, they already did something similar with the Demon Lord unkillable teams. Unkillable teams used to last forever, and you would just have to kind of stop them manually. But they were trying to figure out how to make it balanced, where unkillable teams would still be viable, but they wouldn't just last forever. And what they ended up doing was after 50 turns, the clan boss is going to ignore unkillable. So I don't know why they didn't just do a similar mechanic, like you said. They could have just done the exact same thing with Iron Twins. I don't. So what do you think are going to be like some of the best champions that people should watch out for now for Iron Twins when they're having to kind of adjust some of these compositions?
I mean, if you guys have a Helicat, probably he's going to be the GOAT for the majority of people that were relying on unkillable teams, just because it's pretty easy to replace the other champions with him if you are running an unkillable team with Sir Nicholas or something like that, Painkeepers, so you can make that work. If you're not relying on unkillable teams, probably you're still going to have to move over to the GOAT champions. Godseeker Oniri, Vogot, Geomancer as the best damage dealer. We have Ninja out there. We have Lord Chamford, Krisk, Duchess, Sifi, all sort of champions like this, you know, that they bring in quite a bit. The meta teams are working. They are quite a few actually as well. So block damage is on. Hopefully they're not gonna change that as well. It's not like it's the clan boss, you know, like.
You know, everybody's gonna run out and build these block damage teams, and then they're gonna adjust that. But it's like,
but they shouldn't. Like, it's just a dungeon. It's not like, wow, what you're getting out of that dungeon all day long. So you're not really getting much out of it. You know what I mean? The resources are super scarce, so you're barely getting any return for it. You know.
But it's the only dungeon that you can like farm shards. Like,
I know it's important for most of the end game players. The rest of the players don't really give a damn, and casual players, they don't care about it. So if you're kind of like killing their mojo there, their only way of putting their hands on it is pretty disappointing, honestly, if you ask me. You know?
Oh, I know, I agree with you. I'm just saying that's why they like, because they wouldn't care if somebody or if, you know, free-to-play players had unkillable teams in the Arcane Keep. They wouldn't care because you're not farming shards. But the soul stones are kind of like a shard mechanic. But I mean, I agree with you because it still takes like, you still have a limited number of runs. Like, you can't just, it's not like a dungeon that you can run 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Like, there's limited number of runs. So I don't know why it's such a big deal. I would understand if you could farm it as much as you want. Like, if it was like the dragon. Yeah. If it was like the dragon, then I would understand. But it's not. So yeah, it just seems like kind of a whiff and a miss for me.
Yeah, and if it was the same situation like the clan boss, like when they first nerfed unkillable teams, was because of clan hopping and all that, and people being able to get multiple chests daily and go in with unkillable teams, making it much easier at that point in time, because it was so much harder to do clan boss with the gear that we had and the rest of the things. That made sense. But even when they nerfed that, they actually buffed it, because I remember before the very first nerf, I used to manual my clan boss team with double man-eater, right? For 150 turns. It used to be like painful. Okay, not even a turn meter counter.
I can't believe you did that.
A turn counter. Oh, hell yeah. I used to do it sometimes while I was walking to work in the morning, just to help the clan to kill Ultra Nightmare, because not many people in the game were able to do that damage to kill Ultra Nightmare. So we barely had 5-6 people attacking Ultra Nightmare in a clan at that point, you know. So we used to do that, and sometimes I used to do 2-3 kills a day to make sure we're taking double chest in the clan, and the few of us. And they nerfed it in the way that was not working in that way, but then we were able to make it on Oro, so they actually buffed it without them really wanting to do that. So it was amazing.
Yeah, the clan boss back in the day was Yeah, like you'd screw over your teammates by killing the boss, and then no one else could attack. The clan boss didn't used to have infinite HP. Like once you killed it, it was done. And then everybody would start yelling at each other, like, why didn't you let me get my rewards? You got your rewards yesterday. You screwed me over. It was an absolute, you were having to like manual your compositions and yeah. So there's been a lot of adjustments over the years to the clan boss for sure. But like I said, that's way different because like that's like these mechanics are limited, so I don't get why it was such a big deal on the Iron Twins. But I guess now we're gonna have to build the block damage champions and kind of go about the dungeon that way.
Yeah, definitely that way. Like I was planning to do a double Sir Nicholas and killable team as well. Luckily, I haven't. You know.
I think I have two. I think I have two of him. Yeah.
I was gonna be gutted now. Like I'm using Sir Nicholas. Don't get me wrong. I still have both of them built and stuff, but just changing the gear on all the other champions and just getting the speeds right. I was gonna be so pissed off now, honestly. So I definitely understand how the rest of the people are feeling. Like it's not a fun thing.
Yeah, I wish when they would completely rebalance a dungeon or a clan boss or a mechanic in the game. I wish they would give like a 48-hour period to refund the resources of a champion you've built in the last 48 hours or something. I mean, like it's not perfect, but it would be at least like a middle ground. Like, you know, hey, it would still suck though, because if you did it a week ago, Iron Twins has been out for a month. If you did it 2 weeks ago, you'd still be screwed. So yeah, I guess there really isn't a good solution.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the solution was that just do that with the Iron Brand, and then it ignores unkillable on the champions. No unkillable teams, they'll be stuck in the fight for 10 minutes as a whole team, you know? So a double Sir Nicholas or double Manitar is probably going to take you 4 minutes. The Iron Brand debuff is not going to end up being on them up to 250 or 300 turns. And I'm just giving examples. I haven't really looked at the numbers, right? But if they look at the numbers, okay, a Paragon with a Toxic set at his best, he's going to need to take around, I don't know, 500 turns to kill the boss. The boss is going to extend the Iron Brand on Paragon like 1,000 times, you know what I mean? So they have the statistics. It's so easy to make that happen. I don't know why they haven't done that, honestly. I'm surprised that they haven't.
Yeah, very interesting. Anything else on the way out that stood out to you on the news post that they sent in game while we're here chatting about it?
I mean, we're just getting the new Forge Pass. A lot of people were asking if we're getting the bolster set or we're getting the other set. I forgot his name. Honestly, haven't even forged any of those pieces. So we're still getting the bolster. Maybe then they're gonna bring a new set, or who knows what they're gonna do. So that's another thing coming. The Deck of Fate event, which sounds interesting, promising. A lot of gambling in there. I'm very curious to see if the rewards are worth it, if they're paying off. But that is about it at the moment. Baron got a buff, killing Cupidus Venus in Arena, so very, very happy with that. And yeah, that's about it pretty much.
Yeah, do you think Baron's going to be top tier now? Or you think it's still underwhelming?
He definitely has his own spot, you know, like you need to have kind of like the right setup to keep him alive at the very end game of Arena. If you are using nukers like, let's just say you're using Foley, Astralon, Ray, these sort of champions, definitely Baron is going to be much better than all of those, 100%. So Baron now is in the very top of the nukers, you know, let's just say top 3, top 5.
Okay, I mean, if he's a top 5 nuker, that's a pretty good. Because yeah, if he's definitely better than Foley now, I'd say that's a pretty.
Yeah, I mean, his Void Affinity, he ignores 25% of the defense, ignores shield, you know, so that skill already has a higher multiplier than Foley's. He has a higher base attack than Foley, plus he ignores 50% of the defense with that skill. So Foley's best attack is a 4-point multiplier. Baron's is a 4.3. Baron has around 100 base attack more than Foley, if I'm not mistaken. And he has a higher multiplier, plus he ignores 50% of the target's defense, like having 2 Savage sets on Foley, you know. So that's a much, much better option. He is there with Leorius, with Tranda, that sort of level, you know.
Well, I know they can't see it because our Skratch cam is blocking the base stats, but Scratch, I can't believe how off you were. You thought Baron had 100 more base attack than Foley. It's 99.
I said roughly.
It's
99.
It's 99, not 100. Come on, Scratch. You're off.
There
here.
you go. I'm well off, huh? Damn it, you see.
No, that's pretty good, man. That's pretty good. You said 100 and it's 99. That's pretty impressive to just know the base stat like that. So good job. Yeah. No, okay, cool. So yeah, I just wanted to get a quick video out there, chatting with my buddy Skratch about some of the stuff going on in game and some of the drama around the unkillable changes to Iron Twins, just to keep everybody in the loop. But yeah, is there anything else you wanted to talk about before we
no,
wrap it
that's
up?
about it, honestly. That's about it.
Okay, cool. Well, thanks for joining me, and I'll link to Skratch's channel down below. Definitely check him out. He puts out some of the best content in Raid Shadow Legends, and I will see you soon in the next video. Thanks, Skratch.
Take care.